All right. We have some confirmed candidates who are here and who have our tables available. And we'll get to how that's going to work here in a minute. But obviously those who have booths or tables available will be available to you after they give their speech here momentarily. But we have some other candidates, okay, who do not have booths or tables here, but we do want to recognize those other candidates and for the offices that they're running for. And so just have to open up your hand, and I'm more than happy to, as you stand or sit where you are, you can stand up briefly and just kind of tell us what your name is, basically, and what office you're running for. Unfortunately, you don't get 3 minutes. So I'll start that process now. Yes, sir.
I'm Carl Boitzberger, and I'm running for the State Republican Executive Committee in Senatorial District 8. And that will be voted on the morning of June 6th at the state convention in our Senatorial District caucus.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
My name is Kristen Benson. I'm mad as hell. My taxes are too high. I'm Dallas County Community College Board of Trustee in District 6, May the 10th. If you're mad as hell to vote.
Oh, well, sure.
I'm John Lawson. I'm running for State Senate District 23 in Communist South Dallas. And what we want to do, we know that all the officers, all the elected officials in South Dallas, all of them are Democrats. And when you leave North Dallas, go south, it looks like another country. It don't look like you're in Dallas anymore. We got to change that. We got to challenge these socialists everywhere we find them. And that's what we're doing in South Dallas. I'm running against a 20-year incumbent. His name is Royce West. He's a socialist, he's a communist, and he supports Planned Parenthood, which at this point in America, 50% of over 50% of all black pregnancy ends in abortion. Genocide is taking place, and it's time that we wake up the people of South Dallas, and instead of them voting 95% against us, they'll be voting for us. So I'm running for a state senate. Please help me. Thank you so much.
We'll just give our names and what offices we're running for.
Okay, well, I yielded a little of my time.
Very good.
I think I know most of y'all. I'm Ron Lutensky. I'm running for Dallas County Judge. I did not have a opponent in the primary. Got 8,000 more votes than a Democrat. The incumbent, Obama-loving liberal Democrat that was there. So that's a pretty good jump on November. I need everybody to get out and support. This is our chance to take back Dallas County. Appreciate your support.
John Lawson is my bodyguard. I'm glad to have him. Tom Fingerfeld, candidate for Dallas County Treasurer. I'm shooting for 200,000 plus votes, and if I get 200,000, not only will I win, my Republican cohorts will win also. I'm not only working for me, I'm working for them.
I'm Don Huffines. I'm really honored to have that support. But I do have a opponent in November, even though it's a libertarian. We've got to get the party united now and come together. We've got to get Dallas County back, just like Ron said, in the red column. So I'm still campaigning as always, and I appreciate it. And I am so sincerely humbled to have your support to win this nomination, the Republican nomination.
Hello, everybody. I'm Rachel Chumney. I'm running for Richardson ISD Board of Trustees, Place 6. This is an at-large position, so if you live in RISD, vote for me, and I hope you will. The election is on May 10th. The only thing that will be on the ballot are municipal elections and whatever the Board of Trustees. So I hope you'll come out and vote for me. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Van Taylor. I'm a state representative from Plano. I'm 100% rating for the American Conservative Union. Young Conservatives in Texas are going to be the most conservative veteran member of the Texas House. We're going on to the state Senate to replace Ken Paxton. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. We appreciate that to all your candidates. Appreciate your indulging us there. We are kind of running short on time, so we're going to get right to. By the way, many of these candidates will be able to listen on my show, KSKY 60 The Answer, or 100.7 The Word. Okay, they'll be there. We've got to move forward here with our confirmed candidates here, and again, just kind of how this works for folks. You all understand that each candidate will have 3 minutes to come up and to speak and tell us who they are, why they're running for what office they're running for, and why they're running for that office. And at the conclusion of that 3 minutes, the candidate can then return back to their table. And if you have any questions, you can go one-on-one with that particular candidate at the table and speak with them about that. But it's kind of rapid fire. We're going to do one right after the other. We have so many candidates we have to get to. Okay? And without any further delay, our first candidate for Lieutenant Governor of the state of Texas, Mr. May Patriots.
It's so kind, it's so nice with my friend sitting over there. Looks like the sheriff, is in town here, everywhere I go. I'm here tonight just to come to thank you. If you had told me last summer or last fall that it would be 42% for one candidate and 28% for the other, I'd have been really pleased to be at 28%. Because that would have put us in the runoff. And on election night, we were, of course, at 42% because of all of you in this room, or most of you in this room. And Jerry and Todd ran a good race. I need your support in this runoff. If you support it, Jerry or Todd, I'd love to have your support. And if you supported David, there's still time. There's still time. But on election night, the first numbers that come across the screen are the mail-in ballots and the early votes. And so you really, within minutes, seconds, you know if you're going to win or lose or be in the runoff or not. And the first numbers that came up statewide, and we're sitting down in Houston, Tarrant County, Dan Patrick, 52%. I was stunned. Denton County, Dan Patrick, 57%. I was stunned. And so was everybody else. And then Collin County, 54, 55. Dallas County, 51. We ended up winning 19 of the top 20 Republican counties in the state. We only lost Travis County, and we just barely finished second in that one to Lieutenant Governor. And it was because of the grassroots. Like David, where's David? David was here. There's David in the back. Great example. I met David last August when he stayed till 10 o'clock at night to hear me speak at the IHOP. And he waited, and he ended up going out there. He said he had an email list of 200 folks, and he contacted them all, and he worked, and all of you did. And where's Dorothy? Dorothy over there. We worked harder than anyone else. We did 872 meetings from October to November, October to the election. And Dorothy, I delivered signs at midnight. The only time I've gone into a neighborhood, deliver signs, and had a police escort. It really wasn't a police escort. They were just following my car. They were doing to make sure I was okay. So the runoff is here, May 27th. We're going to have to work hard to get out our voters. Work really hard to get out our voters. Remind them, it's Tuesday after Memorial Day. We have 1 week of early voting. And look, I need your prayers. I've been asked a lot tonight about the attack ad. It's a pretty vicious ad up right now. Just totally a lie. And unfortunately, Lieutenant Governor, who I've not said anything negative about, I'm going to run a positive campaign. Unfortunately, he's doing the same thing, or trying to do the same thing to me that he did to Ted Cruz, and that is he's spending $1 million this week. $1 million. Someone said, well, Dan, why don't you go up and respond? I don't have $1 million to respond this week. Secondly, that's what he wants me to do. He wants me to respond. I'm not going to respond. I'm going to continue talking about issues that you all care about. So I need your prayers, and I need your votes, and just thank you so much. You gave me an opportunity in this part of the world of Texas, and I appreciate you all so much. And again, if you will, Todd and Jerry, I hope you'll join us and vote for us. Thank you all. Thank you very much. I want to say that we have a civil rights event in Denton, and I have to be there in an hour, so we're going to head on out and go to Denton. Thank you all. God bless.
Fantastic, one of those. By the way, we have the official timekeeper Mert, the official timekeeper, he's right there. So our candidates can kind of see him and get the geography, the lay of the land, ladies and gentlemen. The timekeeper right there. Moving right along. Our next speaker is Sid Miller. Mr. Miller, running for agriculture, please. Come on, Sid Miller.
It's good to be with you. It's good to be with you. Good afternoon, Patriots. I am Sid Miller. I'm the conservative running in the runoff race for Texas Agriculture Commission. I'm 8th generation farmer and rancher. My family moved this country in the 1700s. We fought the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, World War I, World War II, and since the Civil War we've been farming and ranching here in Texas. I live in Stephenville, Texas, where I make my living off the land growing crops, cattle, horses, and nursery stock. Been married to my high school sweetheart for 36 years. We have 2 grown sons and have a beautiful family. We have 2 beautiful grandchildren. I'm a product of the Texas A&M University system for Charleston State University with a degree in agriculture. The only candidate in the race that has a degree in agriculture. I'm a former ag teacher, FFA advisor, 4-H leader. And as I go around the state, I tell everybody that our greatest natural resource we have in this state is not oil and gas, it's our youth. And they'll have a big emphasis in the Texas Department of Agriculture if I'm fortunate enough for you to hire me as the next Ag Commissioner. I spent 6 terms in the Texas House where I chaired the Agriculture and Livestock Committee. I also chaired the Homeland Security and Public Safety Committee where we had oversight over the Texas Rangers and securing the Texas border. I want y'all to go to my website and check it out, Miller for Texas. There's some very egregious things happening in Texas. As I go around the state, people ask me what is the most serious issue facing Texas farmers and ranchers. Most people expect me to say the drought. Well, God's going to bless us with rain again someday, Charles. Yeah. But the greatest threat to the American farmer and rancher is the overreaching federal government. We saw some of that this last week in our good friends the Bundys out in Nevada. We have something more egregious happening in Texas than that. They were after 900 head of cattle. This week, the BLM, which we don't have in Texas, announced that they were going to have a takings in Texas of 90,000 acres up in the Red River. No compensation. It's going to take it from our farmers and ranchers. It'll be off the tax rolls. It'll just be devastating for those rural school districts and counties up there. So I've called on Governor Perry and Greg Abbott to step in. We've got to push back on this overreaching federal government. The EPA 2 weeks ago said they were going to ignore the Clean Waters Act, ignore Congress, ignore the Supreme Court, who said that they only had oversight in waters and rivers, streams, lakes, and oceans. And now they have a proposed rule to have oversight anywhere rainfall hits. They want to take over all of our water in Texas. So we're working on that, but I need your help. We have all the Tea Parties in Texas that have endorsed in this race, have endorsed us, all the conservative leaders. But I'm here tonight because there's one endorsement that's more important than all of those, and that would be yours. I appreciate your support and your prayers. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sid. Moving right along, we don't actually, I want to confirm this now. Keisha Rogers is not here, is that correct? Is that my understanding? Correct? She's not here. We're moving right along. We're next to Texas House District 102, Ms. Stephanie Carter. Ms. Stephanie.
Stephanie Carter, your conservative Republican state representative in House District 102. And I'm proud to be your conservative choice in the runoff election, May 27th. And there is a clear choice between someone who's liberal and someone who's conservative. Do you want someone representing you who has expanded the size of government by 25%?
No.
Do you want someone who has put the city of Dallas in debt to date by more than $6 billion?
No.
Do you want someone who has raised taxes immensely? Well, neither do I, and that's why I'm running for re-election. I am A-rated on fiscal issues according to the Texans for Fiscal Responsibility, endorsed by a number of our key conservative organizations, the vast majority of them for re-election, including Young Conservatives of Texas, and Tea Party approved by the North Texas Tea Party. And I'm excited to be running for re-election so I can continue to support our small businesses, work against Common Core, and try to reform illegal immigration if we can get some of the special interests and problems out of the way. So, with that, I ask for your vote for re-election. I'm excited about it, and I thank you for your support of this conservative candidate. Credentials from Heritage Foundation, former Republican precinct chair, and a number of other conservative organizations. Again, I'm Stephanie Carter. My website's Carter for Texas. My table's in the corner, and I ask for your vote May 27th. Thank you.
Stephanie Carter. Thank you. And again, another candidate for Texas House District 102, Ms. Linda Cooper. Linda?
Hi, I'm Linda Cooper. Many of you may know me. I was on the Dallas City Council for 8 years. Our family came here in the late 1800s. My grandfather started Nashville Shoes in 1929. That shoe store, that small men's shoe store on Commerce Street right next to Neiman Marcus, in fact, that lasted 4 generations of our family. We know about small businesses, we know about overregulation, we know about how to run small businesses. Actually, that's where jobs are created, is in the small business sector. I have a master's degree of management from the University of Texas at Dallas. And I am your conservative choice. If you'd like to talk to me afterwards about my Dallas City Council record, I'm happy to do that today for you. I have a platform that includes budget transparency and budget reform. Many of you have listened to that before. But one of the things that I've discovered along the campaign trail is that we have incurred so much debt, especially textile debt, transportation debt. It's gotten to be absolutely a serious burden on the taxpayers. And we need to reduce that debt, and we need to do it now. We need to do it for the future of our kids. And that is something that is very important to each and every one of us. Either get a debt coverage ratio or a financial standard as to how much debt each department can incur, or completely break down your budget, is what I had originally planned and also have supported in each and every department. So if you want somebody that has a lot of budget experience, it's me. If you want somebody that has a lot of business experience and a degree in management, it's me. If you want somebody to go down to Austin and is a straight shooter, tells it like it is, votes conservatively, and always listens to the people, it's me. I got the most votes in the first election. I got the endorsement of Sam Brown, the wounded veteran that was in the race. He has supported me as well. Together we have 62% of the vote. If you live in District 102, which is far north Dallas, Richardson, Addison, and a little bit of Garland, I ask for your vote today. We're happy to talk to you over on our booth there in the corner there, and happy to get to know you and happy to meet you as well. I see a lot of folks that I've talked to already along the campaign trail. Thank you very much for having us, Curtis. I made it within 3 minutes.
Our next candidate is for Texas House District 102, Morgan Meyer. Mr. Meyer.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Morgan Meyer. I'm actually running for House District 108. And I'm glad to be here this evening, and thank you all for having me. Very quickly, I'm originally from Lubbock. I'm from West Texas. I'm one of 6 kids. I had to work my way through college. I attended SMU on a couple academic scholarships, but I also had to work. I did things like building doors in a factory, digging ditches for an irrigation landscaping company, being an RA. I graduated cum laude from SMU and went on to law school. I graduated law school in '99 and joined my firm, Bracewell & Patterson, which is now Bracewell & Giuliani, and I've been there for 15 years. I'm a commercial litigator, and I've been protecting business interests that entire time. I've been named a rising star by Texas super lawyers 8 different years. Only the top 2.5% of attorneys throughout the state of Texas receive that award for excellence in their field. The best part about me, though, is my family. My wife and I have been married over a decade. We have 3 kids, a 7-year-old girl, 6-year-old girl, and a 16-month-old boy. And my 2 girls are in public school, and my kids are the reason that I'm running. I have a job and a duty as a father to make sure the community that my kids grow up in is better than the community, or better than have better opportunities than I did growing up as well. Additionally, I have a job and a duty as a father to make sure the state that we hand them is in a good condition as it is that it is now. We need to make sure that we are fiscally responsible. We need to make sure that we do the right things now so that my kids and your grandkids aren't paying for them down the road. I've been a conservative and been working for conservative ideals and principles for over 2 decades. I first volunteered at the 1992 Republican Convention for the first Bush. I then interned for my Republican congressman. I was a precinct chair for many years. I was a delegate to the state convention. I believe in putting the sweat equity behind our ideals. I believe that hard work gets us to where we want to be. And I've shown that throughout my career, and I've shown that in my dedication to conservative causes. When I get down to Austin, I will be putting forth ideas and supporting things such as zero-based budgeting, a constitutional amendment to cap spending to the rate of inflation and population growth. I also will look to save and cut because we all know that our state government spends too much and too recklessly. I'll look at reducing the number of years that an agency is reviewed. Currently, it's over a decade, almost 12 years, right at 12 years before an agency is reviewed to see if it's running efficiently and effectively. That is too long. You know, one of the most exciting reasons that I'm running is because before I entered this race, my wife just called me cheap. Now I can tell her, no, honey, I'm fiscally conservative, and I'm proud. So I would certainly appreciate your vote, certainly appreciate your support on May 27th, and I look forward to talking to anyone here who has any questions for me. Thank you again.
And that's House District 108, now 102. You know, Sean Hannity and Mark Lemon were busy tonight, so you're stuck with me. Our next candidate is College County Commissioner District 1, Susan Fletcher. Is Susan here? I'm sorry?
Same race.
Okay, Susan's not here is my question, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, because the next on my list is not Charlie, whatever it is. All right, the next on my list is State Board of Education District 11, Eric Maroon. Eric?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Eric Maroon, and I have taken the 11-year Liberal incumbent into a runoff, Patricia Hardy. And I know she was here today. I'm facing an incumbent who has stood up and supported C-Scope. And, you know, it's been really rewarding. I've traveled around the district. Let me break down the district for you. District 11 is all of Parker County, the majority of Tarrant, and northwest Dallas County. It's a huge district. I have 6 state senators just in my district. So if you live in the northwest part of Dallas County, I appreciate your vote. I appreciate your support. You know, we've worked hard for the last year. I live in Bedford. I'm married to my 2nd grade sweetheart. We met in 2nd grade. She's chased me around the playground and got me to marry her now. So she's been my biggest supporter. My mom back there, she has been fantastic. Santa Claus.
Good boy. That's the one right there.
I have 2 beautiful daughters. My oldest daughter is homeschooled. My youngest is in public school. So I'm a big advocate for school choice. Just yesterday, I received the endorsement of the Texas Homeschool Coalition, so I'm thrilled. I was excited. I'm still on the high right now. So, you know, I want to go down to Austin and be your voice. I want to be the voice of the teachers. You know, one of my little girls had said, Daddy, all I do in school is just test. It's test. That's a problem. That's all that we're doing. It's too much testing. We need to have a choice for for the parents out there how to educate their child. We need somebody who's going to go down and stand up to the liberal groups in Austin and stand up against Common Core and C-SCO. We don't want those in our education system. You know, I've talked to parents and they're just upset. You know, the incumbent in my race, all she says is everything's perfect, the textbooks are fine, there's nothing wrong with Texas education. And I said, you know, if everything is fine in our education system, why are thousands and thousands of parents taking their children out of schools and homeschool and taking them to charter schools? We need to fix that. I'm just going to be one voice, but you know, we can work together and get the community behind me, and we can make a difference. We really can. I am endorsed by one of my best friends, Jonathan Stickland, who happens to be my state representative. He was the first one that came out to support me. The former chairman of the State Board of Education, Don McElroy, also supports my campaign. A couple weeks ago, Tom Hawkins endorsed me. The Young Conservatives of Texas, all the Tea Party groups. I'm just honored by the support I've had. It's my first time running, and I knew what I was up against. This is a race that is overlooked, but to me, in my opinion, it's the most important race. This is for the future of our children, and we need to get together. We just need to do this. We need to stand up against the liberals, and I want to be your voice for the State Board of Education. And I also want to protect and build on the permanent school fund. Currently $29 billion. I want to protect that, and I want to build on it. God bless everybody, and thank you so much, and happy Easter to all of you.
Eric Maroon, you can make a difference with the vote right there, I'm telling you that. Eric Maroon, without question, right there, you can make a difference. Good people, absolutely, without question. We have our next candidate for the Attorney General, Mr. Ken Paxton. Who's not here? Correct?
He's not here.
Okay. We'll appreciate that. But give Ken our best. Okay. Very good. We'll move on. Texas House District 66, Matt Shaheen.
Hey everybody, my name is Matt Shaheen. For 5 years I served on the Collin County Commissioners Board. During that time we cut taxes 3 times, we reduced wasteful spending, and we reduced our debt. And now I'm a candidate for the Texas House of Representatives to replace Van Taylor as heading up to the Senate. Every election, the Republican Party of Texas has to decide what kind of party do we want to be. Do we want to be a party of establishment moderates, or do we want to be a party of bedrock conservatives? And I'm offering you bedrock conservatives. This area did a great job as far as 2 years ago. We had a choice between David Dewhurst and Ted Cruz, and we chose Ted Cruz. Last month ago, we chose John Huffines and John Corona, and we chose Mr. Huffines. We also made a great choice in Matt Rinaldi. How awesome is it going to be here to be in the House of Representatives? My race is the exact same picture. We need to decide, as Republicans of the state of Texas, whether we want to be a party of John McCain or a party of Ted Cruz, and I'm offering you Ted Cruz. If you'll join with me, not only can we get Ken Paxton to be our next Attorney General, but if you have faith in me, if you'll support me, if you'll help me, I will not only vote for Scott Turner to be the next Speaker, can to make sure that Scott Turner is the next Speaker of the Texas House of Representatives, and I need your help. We got a bunch of momentum. Election night was really fun. Right at 7 o'clock, early voting results were released. We were at 49.7. Everybody in the room just dropped on their knees and started praying. We went back and forth. We ended up at 49%. We were only 119 votes for winning this puppy out lane. But let me tell you, we are pumped. I had to force myself to take some time off. My wife gave me an ultimatum. You got to listen to your spouse. But we were pumped. I tell everybody I'm like a pregnant woman in the 3rd trimester. I'm pumped and ready to go, and I'm full. It's a terrible analogy. But we are so full of energy. I just need your help. I just need your help. I'm committed to representing your values and your priorities down in Austin if you'll have me as the next state representative for House District 66. Thank you so much for being here, for listening to me this evening. God bless you all. Thank you.
Matching there. Railroad Commissioner Wayne Christian. Haven't seen one. Wayne here? No. Do I know? Maybe I can't hear. Oh, you are right. That's what I was saying. I hadn't seen him. Wanted to be sure. Texas House District 108, Sharp Westcott.
How y'all doing tonight? Thank you all for being out here. My name's Sharp Westcott. I'm running for House District 108. I'm a Dallas native. I went to Vanderbilt University undergrad at SMU Devon. Thank you very much for that. SMU Devon School of Law for law school, but I don't practice law. I'm part of a family business. We build student housing and invest in technology companies. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of my family's history of entrepreneurship, participation in business. This is an important race. Every race for the Texas State House is important because it determines whether or not we're going to have a go-along to get along leadership in the Texas House, or whether we're going to have real conservative change. I'm running because I'm tired. I'm tired of a state government that spends $200 billion every 2 years. I'm tired of a state house where 2/3 of all bills passed are authored by Democrats. And my promise to you is I'm not going to go along to get along anymore. I'm tired of it. And that's why state representatives like Giovanni Capriglione, sorry, his name sometimes doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. Even the first two did that. Matt Rinaldi and we'll give up Matt. Yeah. State Senator Don Huffines. Yeah. Kathy Adams, Michelle Smith, Kelly Shackelford have all endorsed me. I'm proud to have all those conservative endorsements and be the clear conservative choice for House District 108. So please, if you can, if you live in my district in this room, please vote for me. I would really appreciate that. If you don't live in my district, I could really use your help. I need people to help me walk, to make calls. I need volunteers. It would really mean the world to me and my family. Thank you all so much for your time. God bless you all. I'll be here to take questions back at my booth, wherever that is. And my website's chartwestcott.com. You can find out a lot more about me there. Thank you all so much for your time.
Sharp Westcott. Next we have Texas Senate District 2, Bob Hall. Is Bob here? Bob Hall.
Thank you. And commend you for being out here tonight, because it says that you are just as concerned about the state of our state and the direction we're going in as what I am. That's why I'm involved in this. The question you have to ask yourself, are you better off today than what you were 10, 12 years ago when my opponent was first elected? Do you see a better future for your children and your grandchildren than what you saw then? Now? Well, I think not. Just take a look at one thing, what we've done, and what our legislature has done to us in taxes. If you look at what the tax burden on Texans was in 2001, the year before my opponent was elected, the state spent about $48 billion with a population of about 21 million. You divide that out and multiply it by 4, and you get a tax burden on a family of 4 of about $9,000. This past session, in 2013, they spent $104 billion with a population of about less than 26 million. Divide that out and multiply it by 4, you get a tax burden on the Texas family of 4 of well over $17,000. Yeah, how many times have you heard your representative come home and tell you we balanced the budget without raising taxes and kept it below population plus inflation? Folks, that's just plain not true. We have a government that's out of control down there that is spending too much money on things we do not need, do not want, cannot afford, and worst of all, we're going to leave the bills for our children and our grandchildren to pay for them. I think that's outrageous, and we have a responsibility to stop that. Now, my name is Bob Hall. I'm a constitutional conservative who actually believes in all the principles of conservatism, not just the easy ones. I graduated from the Citadel with a degree in electrical engineering. I'm a veteran. I served my country in the Air Force. I'm a commercial pilot. I'm a commercial ship captain. I've owned and operated my own business. And having served my country in the military, I am ready to go to Austin and serve the people of Texas, not the lobbyists and the money masters that infest Austin. I am fully committed that when I go to Austin and I step onto that Senate floor for you, I will be prayed up so I can stand up, speak up, and they will not make me shut up. I will not back up, back down, backslide, compromise, cave, or collapse. I will stand and fight for the principles of liberty and freedom and fiscal responsibility that you and I believe in. I will stand and fight for those principles even when I'm the only one standing. Just like Ted Cruz has done for us in Washington, I will do for you in Austin. Because I have a vision. I have a vision for a better Texas. I have a vision for a Texas with a right-sized government. And a right-sized government is a government that is just big enough to deliver what the people need, yet small enough to care that the services it's delivering serve the people and not the money masters of Austin. Bob Hall, Senate District 2, the right Bob. Thank you.
Bob Hall, we thank you. Collin County Commissioner District 1, Mark Reed. I know Mark's here. Mark Reed.
Okay, I'm really here. I was asking. I'm Mark Reed, I'm your county commissioner. I'm Mark Reed, I'm your county commissioner for Collin County, Commissioner Precinct 1. Thank you so much for putting this on tonight. It's a wonderful event. I know a lot of y'all probably don't know me because I'm a little further north than you guys live. But I grew up in Richardson. I went off to Texas Tech University. I drugged my girlfriend at the time out there. We graduated, we came back, we got married, we went to work at Texas Instruments and started our lives together. In 1985, I started a business called Idea Construction. We're commercial general contractors. We've built hundreds of millions of dollars worth of projects all over North Texas and had a good life. I think that, and the reason I tell you that is because I think it's very, very relevant to the job of being county commissioner. As a county commissioner, I'm responsible, I'm one of five people that's responsible for a $280 million budget and for setting policy that impacts 1,700 employees and all of the taxpayers of Collin County. I think it's time we have business people running our government instead of politicians. I got involved in politics. I've always been a volunteer leader. I started in college. I won't bore you with all the details, but I've got 4 decades of volunteer leadership. But I didn't really get actively involved in politics until about 5 years ago, like a lot of you. I sat there and yelled at the TV when President Bush announced TARP 1, and I swore I would go back. I was on vacation at the time. My wife wondered why I was yelling at the TV. But I swore I would go back, I would get involved, and I would make a difference. So I did. I came back. I've been one of the founding members and leader in several Tea Party groups. I've worked in the Republican clubs, and I've also done a lot of work with Collin County GOP. I tell you that because I think it's important that we pull together as conservatives. We need to quit labeling each other. We need to work together, and we need to defeat the people with which we disagree on almost everything, rather than arguing with each other over the tiny fraction of things that we may disagree with. So anyway, I've got the political experience, I've got the volunteer experience, and I have the business experience. I hope you'll consider all of that. If you're able to vote for me, this should be a job interview, not a popularity contest. It's not about how many endorsements you have, how many people signed your yearbook, etc. It's about, are you qualified to do the job? I'm qualified. So please vote for Mark Reed for County Commissioner on May 27th. Thank you.
Mark Reed, County Commissioner. Our next speaker, U.S. House District 4, John Ratcliffe.
Good evening, I'm John Ratcliffe. I am in a runoff for the 4th Congressional District of Texas. My opponent is 91-year-old Ralph Hall, who's held that office for the last 34 years. I've run this race on my record. I'm someone who, as a U.S. attorney, defended the Constitution on virtually every issue. Someone who, as a terrorism prosecutor, kept America safe from Al-Qaeda and terrorist groups. And someone who, as a mayor for 8 years in a small town, refused to raise taxes, even a single penny, and balanced the budget every year for 8 straight years. When I got in this race, the first poll had me at 7%, and Congressman Hall at over 60%. 85 days later, on March 4th, I pulled him into the first runoff of his career. And since that time, the race that I'm in has garnered national attention. And every national conservative group in the country has looked at my record and scrutinized my record and then endorsed me. The Club for Growth, the Senate Conservatives Fund, the Madison Project, Red State. Club for Growth said John Ratcliffe may be the next Ted Cruz of the U.S. House. Everything you need to know about this race is summed up in what's going on right now. A week from Monday, John Boehner and Eric Cantor are holding a fundraiser for Ralph Hall. On my side of the docket, you've got a first-time candidate with a 25-year-old campaign manager, and yet, notwithstanding that, every major paper in the country, every reporter and every pollster is calling this a dead heat. We all know what happens to incumbents when they get in runoffs. And on May 27th, my grassroots efforts with hundreds of supporters, we're going to prevail. But I need more supporters. I need your support so that on May 27th, John Ratcliffe makes history and knocks off the most entrenched incumbent in Washington. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Glenn Townsend, Texas House District 66.
Well, good evening. Thank you so much for being here tonight. My name is Glenn Townsend. I'm a candidate for the Texas House of Representatives District 66. I want to be a conservative, common sense voice representing our district down in Austin. Now, despite what you may have heard, I am not a moderate and I'm not a liberal. I'm a lifelong conservative. It goes back to when I was a high school senior in El Paso, Texas in 1980, working on my very first campaign for Ronald Reagan. And throughout my life, I have stood for conservative values. I believe our government should remain limited and our taxes should remain low. I believe that our federal government must operate within the constitutional framework that our founders envisioned. I believe in the freedoms under our Constitution, including the freedom of religion under the First Amendment. That doesn't mean the freedom from religion. I very much hope that our courts will uphold the right of Hobby Lobby to be able to take their health plan without interference from our federal government. I believe in the right to own and bear arms under the Second Amendment. I believe our federal government must operate within the limits enumerated in the Constitution under the Ninth Amendment and those other rights reserved to the states under the 10th Amendment. I am proudly pro-life. I believe the right to life is precious and begins at conception. This is a belief that I have based on my faith. Our founding fathers had it right when they said we are one nation under God. So whether it's social issues or fiscal issues, you can see that I am solidly conservative. Now, some also might say, well, you might say one thing and do another if you're elected and you go to Austin. Those who know me know one thing about me, and that is I am consistent. For 25 years, I've been married to the same wonderful woman. We just celebrated our 25th anniversary we started dating and dated for 5 years while we were students at Baylor University. We've lived in the same neighborhood in our district for 25 years. I've spent my whole life as a Southern Baptist and have been active in my church with Tukawanatu for 15 years where I served as deacon and pastor taught in the Bible study class. So I'm not one of these people that chooses my political affiliations and chooses to be conservative simply because it's the popular thing to do or it's politically expedient. It is who I am and it is what I believe. For me, this election is not going to be about labels and it's not going to be about political rhetoric. It's going to be about conservative values, about the issues, and honesty and integrity. And if I am elected, I will serve with those same values, honesty and integrity, that I've lived my life on. This is also not going to be an election about politics and power, but it's about service and humility. I want to be a public servant, and I humbly stand before you tonight to ask for your support for House District 66. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. Now I have one more concern. I know I don't see him here, but we have Dan Branch listed here, but I don't see Mr. Branch here. So, but we appreciate that representative being here. I just want to say that. Yeah, thank you. The representative. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We had someone came in late to not confirm that party with a booth, but someone wanted to be recognized. It was Anthony Rodriguez.
Yes, my name is Anthony Rodriguez. I am running for Dallas County Community College District, District number 5, and that is in Cedar Hill, Duncanville, Grand Prairie, and Irving. So early voting starts on the 28th of April. So if you know anyone that lives out there, we definitely need support. We also need some support for signs, advertising, that sort of thing. And you know, my opponent right now is the incumbent. He's a big spender, a big taxation guy, which shouldn't come as any surprise because his best buddies are Eddie Bernice Johnson and Royce West. So, for all of you who think we've been taxing up already, I think we need to change in Dallas County. So, please, we really appreciate your support in my campaign. Thank you.
I appreciate all the candidates coming here. So we can give them a round of applause for the dedication to the public service. This concludes our speaker portion of the meeting. Of course, all of our candidates, or most of our candidates are still here. Feel free to talk to them here and there, and go to their booths and visit them. We don't have food here, but Ron Kitchen tells me he's going to order pizza. Is that right, Ron? I love you, Ron. Love you. Thanks to our speaker portion. Mimi, Sandy, anybody got any other announcements I need to make? That's a no? Mimi, Sandy, no? Okay. Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me being here. Thank you for coming. We have our